real quick then, I want to get so people know, like maybe your favorite games in a couple categories.
Okay.
Let's start with board game. Spark off a couple, and then maybe give me your favorite.
Okay, so when anybody outside of gaming asks me what my favorite board game is, it's Waterdeep. But I have a feeling that we're going to talk about Waterdeep for you guys as well. So I'm going to not do that one.
Okay.
I think another one that fits that list would be Horrified, which another one I think we're going to talk about. So I'm going to put on here Ticket to Ride.
He's gonna
Not because it's the deepest game.
Well, sorry, I'm old.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry.
I'm old and I don't sing well.
Yeah.
I do ASMR well though. I hear. That's some of you out there. Yeah.
So good.
At Tusa? At Tusa?
Yeah. I'm nosedive.
Lock in, chat. Lock in.
Lock in.
I'm going to put Ticket to Ride on here because it is the most accessible game for me to play with literally anybody. I could take it to my parents' house who, graduated at Checkers and play Ticket to Ride because it's literally rummy with a board.
Yeah.
Rummy with a board and a purpose.
Absolutely.
I can play. It was one of the first games I taught my wife how to play, which then led us to Waterdeep, which now we play cooperative games all the time. It's a really, really great entry point game, and I think it's high on my list only because of that. Not because it's the best game in the world, not because it's going to challenge you mentally or physically, but it will get people to the table that normally wouldn't, and you never know how they are going to progress in their board gaming adventure by playing that game.
I get you. It's the you're no longer playing Monopoly. You're no longer playing Life. You're actually playing this is a board game.
Yeah, you're playing a strategy game.
This is a board game that has strategy to it, and you have to put a little work in.
What a cool theme.
Yeah, and I played a lot of cards with my parents in the backyard, like Rummy and Gin and stuff like that, and it's basically Rummy with a purpose.
Yes.
And you're getting points, but it's not just a random 52-card bicycle deck. It is cards and trains, and you get to build this. And by the time you get done, the board state looks awesome with all the little plastic trains out there, especially if you have one of the fancy editions or the extra special train sets. It looks really cool on the board. It's picturesque and very replayable, very easy to get to the board with literally anybody in any age group.
That's great. So, as a fan of board games, that's why you like it so much.
Yeah,
it helps
mean,
people on board into the environment that you like.
It is not the best. It is not my favorite theme. It is not my favorite board game, but it is a really, really good introduction to that space.
Okay.
Is that board game?
All right, let's mention miniature games.
Minis games is tough for me because I came to it late. I built Warhammer minis when I was in high school, but I didn't play them until I got to with you guys. And just in having this conversation, I realized that War Machine was one that I've absolutely played the most.
Okay.
It's not the best game anymore. They've gone through. I played when it was Mark II. They've gone. I think it's up to like Mark 5 or 6 now.
Many iterations.
It's the guys who do Atomic Mass. Will Schick. He was the guy who really made War Machine click. In I guess that was probably like the 2008s, 2010s era. That was when I think the rules were the tightest, and I think the world was coolest. Lore, though, you can't beat Warhammer. Yeah. Either Age of Sigmar, Old 40K. World, or 40K. I think it's the best.
It's what they do the best, if you ask me. I mean, I mean, don't get me wrong. They make the best plastic miniatures on the planet, but the lore behind the plastic, I think, is what makes you even more makes the plastic more endearing.
Yeah, 100%.
And there's a whole history with War Machine, why the spike in popularity went. There was a period there. I don't remember why, if it was the end of the old, the Warhammer Fantasy Battles. There was that hole in GW, and War Machine was able to grasp and take hold and really, prosper in that time. I remember that going into the game room. You guys
had some more. I remember selling some of you War Machine models.
And that's a segue into maybe getting Big John on the show. He loved the Troll Blood so much. I believe the gentleman. He's got a tattoo. Yep. So that when somebody puts ink on their body about a board game or a mini game, there's probably some kind of attachment there to it.
Yeah,
interesting.
He did play a lot, so we got to get Johnny in here for that. All right, so that's an interesting take on a miniature game. CCG.
Card games a weird one too. I like Magic was the first one I bought into a lot, so I got to give it the credit. It's the oldest.
First girlfriend.
Exactly. I mean, you always remember your first, so let's put it out there. I really love Star Wars Destiny. We've talked about it multiple times. It is the predecessor to Star Wars Unlimited. Yes. I love that card game, so we're going to put Destiny on there. I'm going to give Flesh and Blood a nod.
Okay. That's your favorite right now, you would say?
I wouldn't say. I'm not gonna give myself a favorite for this one. I think Swoo's my favorite. Honestly, let's be honest. Okay. But Flesh and Blood was the first kind of community that I want to say that I kind of fostered here. Okay. Now don't get me wrong, FaZe has taken Flesh and Blood to a new level, and now that he's kind of taken
that
it
boy
over.
is in deep.
Yeah,
He is Flesh and Blood.
But I remember doing the first armories in this store on Sundays.
Yeah.
When Monarch was thing. When Monarch was the thing.
I coming in with a busted up ankle, bringing in Arcane Rising.
Yeah.
And you guys came running out to help me.
Absolutely.
Not because I had a busted leg, because you went Arcane Rising.
But that's a game that survived COVID. So
Yeah.
Welcome to Wraith came out pre-COVID, and Arcane Rising, their second set, came out the week before the world shut down.
Interesting.
So and they were able to weather that storm, and now they've had their ebbs and flows, but that game has survived. And I'm going to put this one on here only because it's baseball season. MLB Showdown.
Oh, let's go!
I loved MLB Showdown.
Freaking go, bro!
I really wish
I'm so glad you said that.
I really wish they'd bring that back, but they're never going to. It's a defunct
Don't
game.
say never. Don't say never. If we get it out there, we can manifest. Right? How much would you pay for a Shohei Ohtani now if it was an MLB Showdown?
Well,
How much would you pay for an Aaron Judge now if it was an MLB Showdown? Right? If we could get the chocolate into the peanut butter, and what's right next door to us, to my buddy to open up a sports store.
true.
Yeah, that
Right?
could be.
We can mix and match. I already got some of them coming over buying Pokemon. We're going over there buying sports cards. Like, we can
To
make
be honest,
this happen.
let our powers combine.
all those sports games could use a gaming system. to
They're
make
even
them
making anime
functional.
cards in baseball.
Yeah, for
So-
the new Japanese.
So it's happening.
You know what? I really dropped the ball in minis games. I got to say Blood Bowl. I don't know what I'm thinking. Blood Bowl is absolutely
You
my
know
favorite
what?
minis
That-
game ever.
I-
You said other sports. I said, oh yeah, a football game would be great. It's like I'm the
that's how
biggest moron in the world because Blood Bowl is 100% ingrained in my soul. But
That tells me when's the last time you played?
it's
No.
been a while. It's
That's
been a
why
couple.
it's out
It's
of
been a
you.
bit.
It's been it. So, guess
Yeah,
what?
you know what?
Heads up, guys. Artie, he's coming. Artie, he's gonna be back with a vengeance.
I would say you're the person I know amongst us that plays. We've tried to play Blood Bowl. We've tried to play Blitz Bowl, being like minor leaguers, and like I just think it comes down to you love Blood Bowl. So whenever it's a Blood Bowl or something, I'm like, Chris, what do you think about that? So
You know what? You know what? I'm starting to put some of it together. Chess player loves Blood Bowl.
Yeah, squares and diagonals. Tell me all
Right?
about it.
You can see
it's
the correlation.
It's a lot of like just like in chess, pre-thinking of like strategizing.
The cage.
Of like,
I mean, you do it with chess. You do everything to protect the king.
It is.
It's like
You know
it's
what?
the cage.
that you look at it like that. It's very much so.
Right.
So yeah, I dropped the ball. Mini game, definitely Blood Bowl. Let's
Okay.
Go back.
All right.
redact whatever else I
All
said.
right, I wrote that down.
Flare gun.
Redacted.
Flare.
All right. Flesh and Blood card game. The last thing was RPG. Yeah.
RPG.
All right. I love D&D, so I loved the idea of RPGs, but I never played one until I got the base. I got the call to the basement. The bat phone rang, and I slid down the pole, and I ended up in the basement.
Dungeon Master called you.
Correct.
Gondor calls
and
for
then it was never the same. So I'm not gonna say D&D because it should be everybody's favorite. I'm gonna do a shout out to a company called Free League Publishing.
Okay.
They do a game called Tales from the Loop.
I've never even heard of this.
So Tales from the Loop, and if you have Netflix, there's another show on Netflix called Electric State. Those are actually RPG books. So Tales from the Loop was on Amazon Prime, and Electric State is on Netflix. But they were first RPG books made by a relatively small Swedish company called Free League Publishing.
Wow.
And it's crazy the way that the lore is. And what it was it's a Swedish artist did these gigantic portraits of like 80s children. But it's like all the sci-fi stuff is real. So like they're basically these like big, gigantic steam vent, almost like a nuclear reactor. But it's not a nuclear reactor. It's basically like a CERN super collider, and it opened up a portal.
Oh my god.
And certain things can come through, like dinosaurs come from different ages, and some like these robots come from another one. And robots are real, and they're autonomous, and they can walk around. It's a really, really crazy. I'm not doing it justice to sell, but it's a really cool sci-fi setting, but it's meant to be played as if you're a kid in the 80s, and it's kind of like the Goonies.
It's like that Stranger Things, Goonies kind of like feel. I remember seeing the artwork.
And they made a TV show with us?
Yeah, so there's a one-season TV show on Amazon Prime that was called Tales from the Loop that was in that world.
Oh, excellent.
But it's kind of like dilapidated.
It's going into the queue.
Yeah. And then the other one from that company is Vaesen. They're it's like Celtic horror stories.
I mean, that's
almost.
still out, isn't it?
Oh, both of these are Tales from the Loop. Electric State is brand new, and Vaesen is still out. They still make them.
Big John was playing Vaesen for a little
Yeah,
bit.
well, the art is top notch. That's what drew me in, because when it comes down to it, if you're not going to play an RPG book, I want to read it and I want to be enamored by the art.
Lore is everything.
So it's a cool setting. It's cool art. It's a cool book. So I'm going to put those up there because I've read them cover to cover, even though I've never rolled a single die in any one of those games.
Interesting.